Hello everyone, and thanks for watching. It's early afternoon, and I'm headed out into the forest to see if I can find anything to photograph. I don't really have any expectations on finding anything, since it is early afternoon, when a lot of wildlife is less active during the hottest part of the day. However, it's still pretty cool, so I decided to head out and see if I could get lucky to find anything to photograph. I started to follow a game trail that led me farther into the woods. Keep your eye out while you're hiking through the forest. You will be surprised at what you can find. So I was walking along a game trail. It was pretty obvious it's been used pretty recently. There's some fresh scat, probably from deer. And I was walking up along the trail, and then all of a sudden off to the side of the trail I found a spot where a deer bedded down, probably for the morning or so. But you can see where all of the leaves and stuff kind of got pulled away, and there's kind of a divot in the dirt. It's pretty exposed. You can see it in the center of this picture here where the deer was most likely laying, and you can see all sorts of bits of hair and that sort of stuff. And there's a deer right behind me as well. So, hold on. Just ran back that way a little bit, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up over this way a little bit, kind of ahead of it, because a lot of times what deer do is they kind of come, check you out, run away, and then they end up coming back again. So I'm going to go over there, get quiet, get my camouflage on, and see if it comes back. Alright, I'm kind of tucked in behind a tree, so my silhouette is kind of hidden by the tree, and there's all sorts of deer scat around here, so I'm gonna get my camouflage on quick, and hopefully the deer will come back. I hear it moving, but I don't know where. It was over that way before, but I get set up in a better spot. No sign of the deer, but there is a wood thrush that's calling and is kind of foraging around me. There it is again. It's about 20 yards away, but it's kind of behind a tree right now. Hopefully it'll come this way a little bit more. just landed right in front of me. This is awesome. This is awesome. I've got a veery to my left and a wood thrush calling to my right in front of me here. Went up into a tree, but it's coming down to the ground to forage, so just need to wait for it to come down. This is a perfect spot for it because there's all sorts of down logs and sticks that are perfect spots for it to perch. The wood thrush and the veery have both kind of flown off a little bit ways into the forest, a little bit farther away for the time being. So I'm going to take this opportunity to kind of finish what I was talking about earlier. So with the deer beds, you can kind of see them. They're kind of a little bit of an indentation into the leaf litter, and a lot of times a lot of the leaf litter is kind of pushed off to the side. And during this time of year, it's early May right now. April, May is when the white-tailed deer around this area in the northeast are going to be shedding their winter coats, so there's going to be a lot of hair that's going to be deposited in these beds as well. So you can see there's all sorts of hair that's all in where the deer bedded down. So it's kind of things you can look for. Another thing that deer do is when they're pawing for acorns or grubs or any kind of vegetation in the forest floor, a lot of times you'll see parts where the leaves have been scraped off. They might be doing that to try to find acorns underneath the leaf litter and that kind of thing. So keep your eye out when you're out in the forest. If you find a game trail, you never know really what you might find. And as you can see, I was just walking along a game trail and there actually was a deer that was on the game trail behind me. So you never know. Sometimes you're not that lucky, but other times, you know, wildlife is just out and you don't really expect them to be out. A red-eyed vireo just flew kind of in front of me and is kind of perched up into the tree right now. But anyway, just thought I'd finish that up while I had a lull here. And this is actually my second time out today. My first time out, I actually didn't have my camera to do any recordings for you guys, but I was out photographing in a marsh that I've never been to before. I was actually out with a group of friends. We went out to try to see if there was any American bittern in the marsh, which is, I believe it's an endangered species in the state. If not threatened, it's definitely threatened. So we went to go out and see if we could find it. We didn't find it. However, I got some great pictures of some marsh wrens and some red-winged blackbirds as well. And actually I also saw some bear cubs. It was actually, I believe it was just one bear cub with a mother bear. They're a yearling, so they're fresh out of the den, about 4 or 5 months old now. And the cub was just climbing up and down the tree. And actually when we first saw them, the mom and the cub were both up in the tree, and the mom's legs were just dangling off a branch. It was the cutest thing. I'm definitely going to link those to this video, so stay tuned for that. But right now, the wood thrush actually came back behind me. So I'm gonna see if I can get some more footage of that. I just moved from my spot that I've been in, and I feel really bad because turns out I was sitting about 10 feet away from where the wood thrush were making a nest. And I didn't realize it until after a while they actually went back up to the nest, and I'm assuming the female was sitting in the nest. So the good news is at least there's no eggs in the nest yet, from what I can see. Definitely no young, so it's not like I was disturbing them enough that they weren't feeding. I was watching one of them actually gathering nesting materials, so I knew they were building a nest, but I didn't realize how close they were, so I quietly picked up my stuff and kind of moved away from it. So I'm hoping that if things settle down again, I can actually get some footage of them hopefully building the nest. The bad news is the nest is in a spot on a hemlock tree that's really well camouflaged, and it's hidden from pretty much every angle that I could find. So this is the best that we have. So now I'm just gonna sit and wait and see if they come back to start building the nest again. I hope I didn't disturb them by moving, but I'm hoping that now that I did move, they might be a little bit more comfortable there. So we'll see. It's amazing what happens when you're in the forest. Oh, but there it is. There it is. Alright, the wood thrush had flown off, so I took that opportunity to pack up and move away from where the nest was. I couldn't get a good shot of the nest anyway. The wood thrush was sitting in there and then kind of pushing things back with its legs, tried probably to make that bowl shape. Excuse me. But I actually even tried to climb up into a tree to see if I could get a better vantage point of it, and it just turned into a disaster. So it's got a great spot for its nest. It's right on the edge of a hemlock branch, so it's high enough that things can't come up from the ground and reach it, but it's also far enough out on the branch that probably anything too heavy would make the branch tip too much and would probably fall off the branch. So it's a great spot for a nest. It's really awesome to see them doing that. So I marked the location, so I'm going to try to come back again maybe in a week or so to see if maybe there's any eggs in there yet, or some fledglings, well, not fledglings yet, but nestlings. So we'll see. But that's gonna be it for me today, but stick around for a second because I'm gonna link the footage that I got from this morning in the end of this video so you can enjoy that. And I'm definitely going to be heading back out to that marsh that I was at this morning again, so stay tuned for that in the next couple videos, maybe hopefully in the near future. I'm gonna get hopefully some great footage there. There's probably about 50 species or so there that I could photograph, so I'm really looking forward to being able to go back out there and seeing what I can get and share with you guys. So that's going to be it for me today. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoy this other footage that I got this morning, and I will see you next time. Have a good one.